Hi. I just woke up and I can tell I maybe should have taken a second before I made a video today. But I just, first of all, felt like starting out by just saying thank you to you. You have been so much in my life. You've been like a diary to me. There's so many things that I process through my content. And because I grew up as a stand-up comic and because my mom was my best friend, I'm really good at extroverting everything in order to hear what my next step is. And, that makes what I extrovert to feel very close to me. And I just want to start out by saying thank you for being that. I can feel that a true cycle has ended in my heart, in my body. There's a way that I did things, and a way that I was, that I can feel is finishing up, is wrapping up, and new things for me to experience. I want to say for me to offer or whatever, but it's really for me to experience. The byproduct is it gets offered, but the format of how I've done things completely isn't quite as fulfilling to me anymore. And there's something telling me that what at one point was my freedom and my way can also become my prison, right? You can have a way that at one point would be an expansive thing for you, a next step, something for you to really say yes to. And you can do it for a long time. And then that way that at one point was your growth starts to become your prison. In other words, you start to expand past a certain way. You can expand past a relationship. You can expand past a friendship. You can expand past a certain career. You can expand past anything. And I can tell there's a way that I've done things with content. There's a way that I've done things as a person that are graduating. I'm finding myself really, really called to, first of all, learning more about what really being a man is. There's a way that I was so blessed to learn life through a lot of my mom, which was wonderful and also difficult because, I had a dad who absolutely created businesses and was very successful. And there are certain areas where I don't know about him and who he is. And I realize that what I want to know, it's up to me to find. And I think we're all here to evolve past the level of our parents. We're not here to stay capped within the realm of what we learned from our childhoods. And there's a false identity in all of us, There's an identity that is in our cells that includes our parents' fear and their limitations and what they grew up having to experience from their parents who grew up in an even more unconscious time. And I can feel in me that life is asking me to step into more of what I would be as a man on a new level. That includes me doing things that would usually horrify me. Like I'm really into jujitsu and I'm learning kickboxing and I'm learning different things that the patterns in my body would go, I can't ever do this. But I am finding it so fulfilling to me to work on an area that I didn't even know needed to be worked on, didn't need healing, There was a way that um, my mom was so sweet and so cautious and also had a layer of, fear that if I were to play football, I would get paralyzed. If I, went to Hawaii, I remember once she worried about a tsunami. I remember when I got a convertible and she was worried I'd get decapitated. I drove a Sea-Doo with a bicycle helmet on, and I sure know that I'm sure I was very protected by those aspects of her. And now as a grown up, I learned that like I don't need to be worried about getting hurt on the same level. I mean, obviously wear my seatbelt and everything else, but life is asking me to move past what I learned and to step into something really, really great. And I can tell a few changes are happening. It's asking me to, first of all, face those fears, like to really say, I'm scared I'll get hurt in this martial art, but I'm still going to be there. And I notice that every time I leave a jujitsu class, I feel more and more free and stronger. And I feel like I'm slowly transcending, the fears that my poor mom had to hold from her life and her childhood. And, you know, um, and it makes me emotional thinking about it, and I realized that the part of me that my body would go, that's not like me to do. It's like, really, that's not like my conditioning. And it's up to me to transcend the conditioning and say yes to the things that I would never say yes to. It's also up to me to say no to the things that I would never say no to. I'm really feeling called to boundary certain things that I used to not. Boundary myself from people that don't feel in alignment with me, to boundary myself from and my family, from habits, even to boundary myself from just getting a good enough video out on the times on YouTube. Like there's a way I can just grab a video from AEP, my membership site, and just find a really good video and then just put it out in the times like Sunday and Wednesday, and then way more people see it and new people join AEP, and it's awesome. And it's a way we've done things for a few years now, and that way is also becoming a prison. In other words, I can feel the calling of the masterpieces that are inside of me, and those don't necessarily hit a deadline. They don't only show up when I'm supposed to put out a video. They show up when they're ready, and the universe doesn't work in time. And sometimes we get so caught in trying to have a deadline to have a video out, or doing it a certain way because that way works. Well, the way that works eventually won't work. You know that? Every way that works eventually won't work. At one point, it was the most cutting edge thing and most expansive thing for the Wright brothers to decide to try to invent or make airplanes, things that fly. If someone tried to do that today, it wouldn't be that exciting because we have them, right? And you might have ways that at one point really worked for you and now don't. And I can feel like something going, don't just say yes to the formula that works for you, Kyle. Risk it all to find more of what you are. And so I am finding this fascination with transcending the cells in my body to move into more of what I truly am that I don't know what I am, and not need to, this is going to sound weird, but not need to stay connected to everyone. It sounds weird for me because I used to always be like, let's make up no matter what. And then I'd kind of resent certain things and feel unseen, and like just really going, I'm following this calling. And I noticed that the part of me that is learning jujitsu and different martial arts and everything is transcending not only my mom's fear, but a codependency that I think I created by being best friends with my mom. Meaning like a codependency, a part of me that needs to be seen a certain way. Please see me. That's been a huge pattern in my body. Please see me, please see me. So I just became really good at being seen. And I think that I was worried I'd get hurt if I wasn't seen. And I'm not saying I won't get seen, but I can see as I do these martial arts and different things, I'm starting to really see myself. And heal some part of me that thinks he's unseen all the time. And so that's affecting and changing my relationships and my connections and everything else. And I guess what I'm telling you is I know that you have a part of you that's craving something deeper. And I just want you to know that's the real you, that depth of what you're looking for, that fulfillment that's deeper than just having a way that's good enough, just a good enough relationship or an amount of money or whatever else. That life is really going, hey, you're on this planet to learn who you are, to learn what it feels like to be you, to meet yourself. And it'll help you graduate through cycles of your life that think you can't, and that you have this amazing opportunity to say yes to. Don't like rush away. Don't hear that as like I knew it and then just like instantly try to. You mean if that's the way, if that calls to you, that's awesome. But really start to decipher the difference between a calling that's really you and you fixing something. Like you declaring something so you don't feel guilt or alone is not what I mean. I mean, really like hearing what's the highest you and saying yes to it. And today I feel like I'm saying yes to a me that I never knew existed. And it feels weird to know that I can do that. And it feels incredible to undo a belief my whole life that I would never know how to protect myself, or that I'm just too scared to get hurt, or that there's me as a man on a new level. That's birthing. And um, obviously I'll share more as I know about it, but I just feel a new wave coming. And I want to thank you for being with me at the journey that I've been at, and just know that I think something that really represents more of what's in here is coming, and it's coming in a way that you wouldn't and I wouldn't be able to predict. And I want to invite you that yours is available too. And I really believe one person is capable of changing the world completely by changing themselves. And I can only imagine that if anything in this video calls to you, for you, that we're ready for it. Like, we're ready for the real you. You're safe for the real you. You will purge the false you, and the world will change around that. So I just felt like waking up and saying to you, thank you for being someone who supports me, and even more importantly, supports yourself. Again, I'm not looking for followers. I'm looking for co-leaders. And I want to create a powerful, safe world for my daughter. And then she's going to make it even more powerful and safer after I'm gone. So your kids will do the same with you. We're here to evolve past our parents. So, I'm excited to create a better space for her to do so much more. And then that'll create space for the kids in the next generation to do even more. And we're just going to change this whole thing. Thanks for being with me this morning.